When stars go dark. The stars vanished on a Tuesday. Dr. Eliza Morgan was analyzing radio signal patterns in her lab at the Global Space Coalition headquarters when every screen went black. Through the vast observation window that spanned the eastern wall, she watched as stars blinked out one by one across the night sky, replaced by absolute darkness. "System error?" she asked, already knowing the answer. Her colleague, Dr. Rajiv Patel, stared at the void where stars had been moments before. "No, something's blocking them." Within hours, the GSC's emergency protocols activated worldwide. Eliza found herself rushed from her quiet laboratory to the Coalition's crisis center deep beneath the Rocky Mountains. As Earth's foremost xenolinguist, her expertise in theoretical alien communication patterns had always been considered a long-term investment. Now she was suddenly the most important scientist on the planet. "They're broadcasting on every frequency simultaneously," Director Chen explained, gesturing to the pulsing waveforms displayed across the wall. "The message repeats every 9 minutes and 12 seconds. Eliza analyzed the complex patterns, her mind racing. This isn't random noise. There's structure here, mathematical precision. For 72 sleepless hours, Eliza and her team worked to decode the alien transmission. The breakthrough came when they stopped treating it as language and started seeing it as pure mathematics, a universal communication system. They call themselves the Voidwalkers," Eliza announced to the assembled world leaders on the fourth day. "And they've issued humanity a challenge." The room fell silent as she displayed the translated message. "ATTNTOION species 3742C. Yours stay air system. AKS BEENCELECTFOR ASSESSMENT. Demonstrate your capability, or surrender your autonomy. Time allocation. CVN planetary rotations. They've positioned themselves between Earth and our Sun," explained General Rivera, the Coalition's military advisor. "Their technology allows them to filter specific wavelengths of light. They're demonstrating power without firing a shot." "What exactly do they want us to demonstrate?" asked the European Union representative. Eliza took a deep breath. "They want proof that we deserve to exist independently. They're evaluating our species." "For what purpose?" someone asked. "The Voidwalkers appear to be some kind of galactic regulatory force," Dr. Patel explained. "From what we can decipher, they categorize species based on certain capabilities. Those deemed worthy maintain independence, perhaps even join some kind of interstellar community. Those found lacking." He didn't need to finish the sentence. "So they want us to fight." General Rivera leaned forward. "We should prepare our nuclear arsenal." "No," Eliza said firmly. "The message doesn't specify combat. It asks for demonstration of capability. War might be exactly the wrong response." The debate raged for hours until Director Chen finally silenced the room. "Dr. Morgan will lead our response team. This is not a military operation. It's first contact." Within 24 hours, Eliza assembled her team. Dr. Patel for his quantum physics expertise, Captain Maya Santos, a tactical specialist with diplomatic training, Theo Williams, a cultural anthropologist, and Dr. Kwame Osei, an AI systems engineer. "We need to understand what they value," Eliza told her team. "Every culture, human or theoretically alien, has core principles that guide their judgments." They analyzed the Voidwalkers' transmission patterns, ship positioning, and the precise mathematical structure of their communications. A pattern emerged. "Efficiency," Dr. Osei said, studying the data. "Everything they do maximizes impact while minimizing effort. Their ships form perfect geometric patterns. Their messages use the fewest possible information packets to convey meaning." "Balance," added Williams. "Their formations maintain perfect symmetry even when they adjust position." The breakthrough came when a second message arrived. "ATTNTYON species 3742C. Pueripier, Raripirecentives, F4 Darictiti ASSESSMNIENT. Coordinates a follow. The coordinates led to a remote location in the Sahara Desert. Against the advice of military leaders worldwide, Eliza's team headed there with minimal security. They arrived at dawn on the 6th day. The desert air was still cool as they set up their minimal equipment, just communication devices and scientific instruments. No weapons. Are we sure about this? Captain Santos asked, scanning the empty horizon. No, Eliza admitted, but showing up armed would immediately demonstrate fear, not capability. The air rippled at exactly 700 hours. Where there had been only sand a moment before, a structure now stood, a perfect black cube, 10 meters on each side, absorbing all light around it. That's impossible, Dr. Patel whispered, checking his instruments. It didn't travel here. It simply changed the properties of space-time to exist in this location. A seam appeared in the cube, widening into an entrance. From within emerged a figure that sent a collective shiver through the team. The Voidwalker stood nearly 3 meters tall. Its body resembled flowing mercury, constantly shifting yet maintaining a humanoid shape. Where a face should be, there were only rippling patterns of light that seemed to both absorb and emit information simultaneously. Representative of species 3742C, the being said, its voice resonating directly in their minds rather than through air vibrations. We observe your preparation is minimal. Eliza stepped forward. We came to understand before we act. The being tilted its featureless head. Understanding is irrelevant to assessment. Capability is measured through demonstration. To demonstrate effectively, we must understand what you value, Eliza countered. The Voidwalker remained motionless for several seconds, an eternity in such a tense moment. Logical sequence. We permit inquiry. For the next hour, Eliza carefully questioned the being while her team recorded every nuance of its responses. They learned that the Voidwalkers had evolved beyond biological constraints billions of years ago. They now served as evaluators of emerging intelligent species across multiple galaxies. All species must contribute to universal equilibrium, the Voidwalker explained. Those lacking sufficient capability become resource generators instead of independent entities. And how do you define capability? Eliza asked. Each species demonstrates unique attributes. Some show technological brilliance. Others display biological resilience. Some exhibit collective coordination. The assessment reveals natural strengths. As the conversation progressed, Williams leaned close to Eliza. They're not conquerors, they're categorizers. This is a cosmic sorting system. Eliza nodded slightly. They don't want us to fight. They want us to show what makes humanity valuable. When the Voidwalker concluded the interview, it made an unexpected announcement. Your inquiry pattern demonstrates analytical capacity. Assessment parameters expanded. Final evaluation occurs at next planetary dawn. Prepare your species' maximum demonstration. As the being retreated into its cube, the team huddled together. We have less than 24 hours, Captain Santos said. What's our play? Eliza looked at each team member. They value efficiency, balance, and contribution to what they call universal equilibrium. We need to show them something uniquely human that serves these principles. Dr. Osoi frowned. Our technology is primitive compared to theirs. Our biological systems aren't particularly remarkable compared to Earth's other species. But there is something we have that might be unique, Eliza said slowly. Our adaptability. Humans don't excel because we're strongest or fastest. We excel because we observe, learn, and change faster than any species we know. How do we demonstrate that in 24 hours? Dr. Patil asked. Eliza's eyes lit up with sudden inspiration. We don't fight the assessment. We change the parameters. Through the night, they developed what they called Operation Echo, a plan so counterintuitive that many of the world leaders initially rejected it. But as Eliza explained the Voidwalkers' true nature based on their interaction, Resistance gave way to cautious agreement. By dawn, when the black cube once again opened in the desert, humanity was ready with a response that would either save Earth or condemn it. Eliza stepped forward as the Voidwalker emerged. Behind her stood not military forces or technological marvels, but representatives from every nation, culture, profession, and age group on Earth, a carefully selected cross-section of humanity. "We are prepared for assessment," Eliza announced. "Proceed with demonstration," the Voidwalker commanded. Eliza took a deep breath. "Our demonstration is not what we can do to you, but what we can become with you." And with those words, Operation Echo began. Humanity's audacious response to an alien ultimatum that would reshape Earth's place in the cosmos forever. The Echo strategy. The Voidwalker stood motionless, its mercury-like form reflecting the first rays of dawn. If it was capable of confusion, the subtle distortion in its flowing patterns suggested as much. "Clarify," it demanded. "Assessment requires demonstration of capability, not proposal of relationship." Eliza gestured to the diverse group behind her. "This is our demonstration. Each person here represents a different aspect of human capability, not as individuals, but as a collective adaptive system." At her signal, the demonstration began. A group of engineers stepped forward, unveiling a device they'd constructed overnight. It wasn't a weapon or shield, but a communication array built using principles reverse-engineered from the Voidwalker's own transmission patterns. "We analyzed your communication mathematics," Dr. Paddle explained, activating the device. "In less than one planetary rotation, we adapted your principles to enhance our own systems." The array projected a three-dimensional model of the solar system, then expanded to show the Voidwalker's positions around Earth. Finally, it displayed potential optimizations to their formation based on Earth's gravitational influences, subtle improvements to their already efficient positioning. The Voidwalker's surface rippled. "You suggest improvements to our configurations. We offer perspective," Eliza said. "Your efficiency is remarkable, but by incorporating local variables unique to our system, it could be enhanced further." Before the being could respond, a team of biologists approached with environmental data. They demonstrated how Earth's ecosystems function through complex interdependencies, a natural manifestation of the universal equilibrium the Voidwalkers valued. Hour after hour, different groups presented not Earth's military might or technological advancement, but its diverse problem-solving approaches. Mathematicians, artists, farmers, and children each demonstrated unique perspectives that, when combined, created solutions greater than the sum of their parts. "This is humanity's core capability," Eliza explained. "Not domination, but integration. Not conquest, but collaboration. We transform constraints into opportunities. We turn strangers into allies." The Voidwalker observed silently, its luminous patterns flickering with increasing complexity. Finally, it spoke. "Your demonstration is unconventional. You offer potential rather than proof." "Because potential is our proof," Captain Santos interjected. "Humanity's greatest achievements come not from what we are, but from what we become when challenged." Dr. Osei stepped forward with the final element of their plan, a detailed proposal for information exchange that would benefit both species. "We don't ask to be spared," he said. "We asked to contribute." As the sun reached its zenith, the Voidwalker retreated into its cube without response. Hours passed with no communication, stretching the team's nerves to breaking point. "Did we miscalculate?" Williams wondered aloud as evening approached. "No," Eliza said firmly. "Everything we learned about them suggests they value contribution over competition. We had to show them our true strength." The sky darkened not with night, but with movement. The Voidwalker ships, previously invisible beyond Earth's atmosphere, descended in formation. Thousands of obsidian vessels arranged in geometric patterns that blocked the setting sun. Military alerts blared across global communication channels. World leaders demanded immediate action as panic spread through population centers worldwide. "Hold positions," Eliza instructed frantically. This isn't an attack. It's their response. The black cube expanded, its walls dissolving to reveal a chamber within. The Voidwalker emerged accompanied by 3 others, each with slightly different patterns of light across their fluid forms. Species 3742C, the original Voidwalker announced, your demonstration requires evaluation by the collective. The leaders of the collective studied the humans with unsettling intensity, their mercury-like bodies shifting in synchronized patterns. Finally, one stepped forward, larger than the others, its surface swirling with complex light formations. Your species presents anomalous characteristics, it stated. Most evaluated species demonstrate either technological dominance, biological resilience, or collective unity. You exhibit moderate capabilities in all areas, yet your adaptive integration exceeds predicted parameters. Dr. Osai whispered to Eliza, that sounds promising. The lead Voidwalker continued. Your proposal for mutual enhancement contradicts standard assessment protocols. These protocols have remained unchanged for 4.3 billion years across 22,749 species evaluations. Eliza felt her heart sink. They had gambled everything on the assumption that the Voidwalkers valued contribution to universal equilibrium above rigid adherence to protocol. However, the being continued, protocol optimization represents highest-order operational directive. A ripple of light passed between the Voidwalkers, a silent communication that lasted several moments. Then, unexpectedly, their forms shifted, each reconfigured into a slightly more humanoid shape, with distinguishable head regions and limb-like appendages, an apparent adaptation to facilitate human comfort during interaction. Assessment conclusion. Species 3742C demonstrates unique integrative capability with potential universal application. Classification. Conditional partner species. Eliza exchanged glances with her team, hardly daring to believe what they were hearing. Clarify. Conditional partner species, she requested. Your species will not be harvested for resources, the lead Voidwalker explained. Instead, supervised technological and cultural exchange will proceed. Your adaptive mechanisms will be studied for possible integration into collective operations. In exchange, controlled knowledge transfer will accelerate your development. Captain Santos stepped forward. And what prevents you from simply taking what you want from us once you've learned enough? The Voidwalkers' forms rippled in synchronized patterns that Dr. Patel would later identify as their version of amusement. Inefficient approach, one responded. Forced extraction yields incomplete data. Collaborative exchange maximizes information acquisition while preserving source integrity. Translation. They get more from us if we're willing partners, Williams murmured. Additionally, continued the lead Voidwalker, your species has demonstrated capacity for rapid protocol adaptation. This represents potentially valuable evolutionary direction for collective enhancement. Dr. Osai couldn't contain his amazement. They're saying we might have something to teach them. Over the next several hours, the framework for humanity's new relationship with the Voidwalker Collective took shape. The aliens would restore Earth's normal solar exposure, but maintain observatory positions throughout the solar system. Knowledge exchange would begin with basic physics principles that would revolutionize human energy production. In return, human creative problem-solving methodologies would be cataloged and analyzed. As negotiations concluded, the lead Voidwalker addressed Eliza directly. Your designation within your species hierarchy. I'm just a xenolinguist, a language specialist, she replied. I have no particular authority. The being's form shifted slightly. Incorrect assessment. You demonstrated prime adaptive capability by altering assessment parameters rather than complying with them. This represents essence of quality our collective seeks to understand. Before Eliza could respond, the Voidwalker continued. We have existed for billions of years, optimizing procedures with minimal procedural evolution. Species 3742C, humanity, exhibits contradiction. Technological infancy, yet conceptual maturity. You adapt not merely to survive, but to transform contexts themselves. For the first time, Eliza truly understood the magnitude of what humanity had accomplished. They hadn't just passed an alien test, they had changed the test itself. As dawn broke on the 8th day, the stars reappeared in Earth's sky. The Voidwalkers' massive ships reconfigured into a spiraling formation high above the planet, close enough to be visible as small dark specks during daylight, a reminder of humanity's new place in a much larger community. The transition wasn't seamless. Some nations protested the alien presence. Religious institutions grappled with theological implications, but the carefully managed knowledge exchange began transforming human society almost immediately. Clean energy breakthroughs eliminated fossil fuel dependence within months. Medical applications of Voidwalker temporal mathematics extended human lifespans significantly. 6 months after first contact, Eliza found herself in a specially constructed interface chamber beneath the Global Space Coalition headquarters. The room's unique properties allowed Voidwalkers to maintain their natural form while interacting with humans for extended periods. Her regular counterpart, the original Voidwalker she'd met in the desert, now designated Observer Prime in human records, manifested in the center of the chamber. The collective reports increased operational efficiency, utilizing human-inspired adaptation protocols. It stated, "Unexpected outcome." Eliza smiled. Sometimes the greatest strength isn't having the answer, but asking a different question. Query: does species 3742C experience apprehension regarding future relations with collective? Many evaluated species exhibit fear response despite beneficial arrangements. Eliza considered the question carefully. Humans will always fear what we don't understand, but we're more afraid of stagnation than change. Our history is defined by transformative moments exactly like this one. Observer Prime's form shifted into increasingly complex patterns, paradoxical species, simultaneously fragile and resilient. Technologically primitive yet conceptually advanced. That's the human condition, Eliza replied. We contain multitudes. The Voidwalker's light patterns pulsed rhythmically, what Eliza had come to recognize as its version of contemplation. Future projections indicate species 3742C integration will fundamentally alter collective operational parameters after 4.3 billion years of stability. Does that concern you? Eliza asked. Unknown, Observer Prime responded. Unprecedented scenario creates uncertainty. Eliza couldn't help but smile at the irony. The ancient, nearly omnipotent beings that had threatened Earth's autonomy were now experiencing something humans lived with every day: the uncertainty of change. Welcome to the human experience, she said. We've been navigating uncertainty since we first looked up at the stars. Outside the facility, humanity continued its accelerated evolution, transformed not by conquest or subjugation, but by the uniquely human response to an alien ultimatum, turning a test into a partnership, a threat into an opportunity. They had demanded conflict. Humanity answered with collaboration. They had expected submission. Humanity offered innovation. They had come to evaluate and found themselves transformed. The stars shone brighter than ever in Earth's night sky, no longer distant, unreachable points of light, but future destinations in humanity's unexpected new journey as partners with the cosmos.